welcome back to the Tea and the Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about places we've been.
Places we've been.
Yes, following on from our last one.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about, we went to the Cotswolds.
We went to the Cotswolds.
We went to the lovely Cotswolds.
We talked about Bristol, and this week
Bristol.
We're still in Bristol. The Cotswolds tour left from Bristol.
Yeah, from Bristol, because it's only a short drive there.
Yes, so it's...
For Americans it is, anyway.
Yes.
Americans, it's not even a... What is it? What would you call it?
Oh, I can't remember how long.
To the end of the street.
Well, yeah.
For Brits, it's like, ooh, it's too long.
So we booked a Rabbi's tour.
Rabbi's tour, everyone.
Around the Cotswolds, because the Cotswolds, if you guys have been listening for a while, is a place that we've always kind of talked about. I think we did a podcast on places we want to go, the Cotswolds.
Yes.
And
now this is places we've been and want to go again. Because, a tour can only show you so much.
Well, yeah, and it's a big area.
So we'll have to do it again by ourselves next time. So you can see things.
Yeah, so if you don't know what the Cotswolds is, it's just a general area of Britain. It's not a county. I don't know. I can't remember exactly why they call it the Cotswolds. I'm sure our tour guide did tell us, but it's just an area of
It's something
Britain.
to do with the stone,
It's an area of outstanding natural beauty.
Yes, an AONB.
Yes.
Which Erica thought I was making up before.
And it consists...
Because it's an area of outstanding natural beauty, because I kept saying it, and you were like, why do you keep saying that? And I'm like, because that's what it's called.
Like, why do you
yes,
keep
you
saying
did. You did that. You were lying in bed, and I remember your face going, why do you keep saying that? It's weird.
Oh my god. It consists of several, though, little towns and villages all throughout, and they're known for making wool. Like, basically it was like a...
that's right, yeah.
What would you say? It was like a farming area.
It was a farming area. It was very rural.
A
obviously.
rural area.
Yeah,
there.
rural area. Yeah. So, you had all the, sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Cotswold sheep.
Yeah.
And there was stone there as well.
And that was the primary thing that they
Romans loved it, I guess. The Romans loved it there.
Why the Romans?
Because they were there. The Romans
invaded
and they said, we got to go to the Cotswolds.
Oh, the Cotswolds. We just love
You don't even know, man. You're just here in Londinium and you don't even know.
Yeah, but it was an area known for producing wool. It was the finest wool in the land. In the
land, meaning the land all over the planet.
Yeah. So it consists of a bunch of little towns. The tour that we took, I think, only took us to three
places. Yeah, 3 places. And
villages,
it wasn't even really deep into the Cotswolds because the first stop on the tour was Stonehenge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we were, when we were booking the tour, we thought, there's an optional thing to, get the shuttle bus or get the wristband or whatever to go to Stonehenge. And we were like, do you want to go do it? Or do you want to just sit on the bus? Or whatever? We were just like, no, we've got to do it. We're here,
Yeah. We were like, well, what if we're the only ones who don't go? And then we'll just be sitting there wishing that we'd gone, Because, what are we going to do? We're just going to be sitting there. So we went. Anyway, we got to back up.
We got to back up, yeah. I hate that I'm getting off topic with all this.
Oh my god!
Or going off on a tangent, but that's what you guys love.
You love
it.
Tangents.
You love it.
We all love a tangent. Anyway, the tour left from the Hilton in Bristol, which was not too far from our hotel, which I think is why we stayed at the hotel we stayed at.
Yes, actually. No, it was actually very good because it was only like a 5-minute walk there.
Mm-hmm. And it just left from the front of Bristol. It left from the very front of Bristol, and
it was. We were a bit like, is it going to leave from the bus stop? Because you look at the meeting point on the map, and you're not really sure where the bus is going to turn up. So we walked around there. We got there pretty early. Like it says to get there 15 minutes before departure time and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So we got there early and we just saw people kind of milling about and just being like...
Looking lost.
And it was like, okay, they're on the tour too. And it's like, is this where we go from the Cotswolds? Yeah. And some people, it's like it was all Americans, wasn't it?
Yes. Okay, so when we're walking out, Dominic's like, I bet there's going to be... Because we'd already heard so many Americans in Bristol. I was just like, where am I? I mean, I'm used to hearing it in London because it's London, it's like of course.
It's London.
People go to London. But, you know, there's this thing in Britain where people are always like, oh, if you come to Britain, don't just go to London, go to everywhere, you know.
Well, they are.
Because Americans are known, I guess, for just going to London and thinking they've seen Britain. This time, Americans were everywhere. Literally everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
We were turning over stones, and there they were.
Yes. Yes. But literally everywhere we were hearing American voices. So Dominic was like, I think most of the people on the tour are going to be American. And I was like, I don't know. They could be from, you know, wherever. Bristol is a university city, so there's like people from all over the world there. But no, we walked up and pretty much everybody on our tour was American. In fact, at least 3 of them have lived very near to where we live in Texas.
Yes.
So that was fun.
Yeah. There was a woman.
3 of them. 3 of them lived within 45 minutes of where we live. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she was, and you know, so they were like,
y'all are from Austin? Oh my God, Austin!
Austin? Oh,
yes.
How cute! But it's like, yeah, they were. I think one of them had done the tour before. Years before, I think. Yeah, that one
I didn't
woman.
remember that.
But yeah, no, there was we met a lot of people from like Texas on this trip. Actually, weirdly enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because on the you know, we'll talk about it later
in the future.
In the future. But yes, we got on Barney. Rabbi's tours was very good.
Oh yes, the tour was with Rabbi's,
and it was on like a 16-seater Mercedes bus. So you know those buses, they can get down. And that's what he was saying, because these buses are easy to park. They're easy to get down the roads, you know.
And you can go some of the smaller villages.
Smaller villages that all these other coaches can't. You know, these big tour groups from like Germany and Europe, they're coming in on these huge like buses.
Full-length buses.
Because, you know, we're in Edinburgh, we just saw rows and rows of them, you know.
Yeah.
Towards the castle. And it's just like, they've got to park here and they've got to walk all the way up, you know.
Yeah. Well, the Rabbi's bus is just a small bus, like you said. I think it seats like 16 people.
16 people.
I thought it was a few more people than that.
Maybe 20, I don't know.
But maybe not, yeah. And the size of it, they're able to go down some of these small roads, some of these small Roman roads.
Yeah, because they were Romans.
The Romans love the Cotswolds so
oh,
much.
Yes. They did.
And they're able to get around corners, and, you know, they're just much more versatile. I don't know. Whatever word I'm trying to say to describe them.
Yeah.
But anyway, the tour group is out of Scotland.
Yeah, they started in Scotland.
By them,
not sponsored by Rabbi's, no.
But
we saw their tour buses all over the UK.
If you decide to take a tour because you've heard us talking about them, go ahead and mention this podcast.
Yeah, go ahead and mention Tea and a Buddy to them. Say, Dominic and Erica from Tea and a Buddy sent me on this tour.
We definitely do recommend them.
So you've got to thank them.
It was so good. They're a company out of Scotland named Rabbi's after
Robert Burns. Poet.
And they're really, really good. They have tours all over the UK, and I think possibly in like the north of Western Europe as well, I seem to think. And they operate like days long tours. This was just a 1-day tour.
They operate like weeks. Tour. Yeah, this is a 1-day tour, yeah. They operate weeks long ones. I mean, their most popular one is to the Isle of Skye.
Oh, yes.
Because of the Outlander connection.
Yeah.
You know, they've started running that tour, so, you know.
Yeah.
Our tour guide's wife apparently did that tour.
Yeah.
So
she's a big Outlander fan.
Big Outlander fan, so she was on there with the Outlander fans having a great time talking about Jamie Fraser.
So finally the bus pulled up, we got on, and our tour guide was this guy called Barney, and he was dressed in his very like stereotypically British gentleman kind of outfit, and he just looked the part. Like, he just looked so good.
Yeah,
it was just like, this is like, you know, I don't think it was a costume. I don't think he was, you know, it went with his personality, but it just so happened to be like
a Peaky
Americans'
Blinders
idea of the way British men dress. You know what I mean? Like, And he was so good, you guys. If you do a
yeah, he
Rabbie's tour,
curated that tour very well.
if you can choose him, I don't know that you can choose whose tours
yeah,
you're
I
going
mean
on.
it's whoever.
If you take a Rabbie's tour and you luck out and get
because I
him,
think
like,
he does the tour. He does the tours, like, you know, and then someone else will do the tours for like 3 weeks or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
or 3 months or whatever it'll be.
He's
know?
very knowledgeable, and he was very funny. So to me, that's important to keep things,
yes,
you know, interesting and entertaining. And another good thing about the tour was that he would tell us things about everything that we were passing by as well, not just the places that we went to. So like he was kind of almost talking nonstop.
It was talking nonstop, and he'd say, "Okay, I'm going to shut up for a bit now and
play a song
and drive." You know,
yeah,
because you know there's nothing really to talk about on this particular stretch of road.
Yeah,
I mean, what I found was, you know, it's obviously because what he does is he says, "Somebody will give me, oh, this is where Eddie Cochran died."
Oh yeah.
And he'll be like, "Oh, I've got to remember that."
Yeah.
You know, and put it in the tour, you know.
Yeah, it was
and
little
I'll
things
play,
like that.
you know, an Eddie Cochran song, you know.
Yeah.
And he went across, like, because, you know, the Bath to, like, London Road, they were driving, and he goes, "Oh, and Eddie Cochran, you know, died near
when
here."
When he crashed,
you know?
they brought him to this
the taxi
hospital.
that he was in, he crashed here, you know, when he was on his way back to London or whatever. It crashed here because he'd done a show at Bristol, I think.
Yeah.
And that was about 1960. Was it 1960? Yeah, something like that. He was on tour in the UK, crashed, and there's like a little memorial for him at the site where it happened, and he was taken to hospital, the nearby hospital, which I don't know if it's still there, but you know, he told us all that, and he played Summertime Blues and all that, and he just...
But he was pointing out things like, you know, if you looked out the window and you saw this hill, you would have just thought it was a hill, but he was like, no, it's a burial mound, and...
It's a burial mound, all the giants are buried there.
It's been there since, you know, however many thousands of years, yes. And you're just like, wow, you know, I would have just thought it was just like a hill, you know, but he's like, oh no, it's the largest burial mound. There was another point where we passed, I don't know if you guys have ever seen those huge white horses that they have in various hillsides around Britain. I only kind of just learned about those within the last like 3 years or so, I think.
Yes.
Did you know about them too?
I vaguely remember something about them.
They're like big art pieces, sort of done in like
style of a crop circle or something, you know, but it's like, you know,
in the style of like a caveman kind of drawing.
Or
whatever,
yeah, like the white chalk man.
Yeah, it'll be like a guy or a big horse or something like that, and they're done in chalk on these hillsides, like, and they've been touched up over the years. Obviously, I think they weren't made until like
repainted
until like the 1800s, though, like the very early.
They were for like the tourists. You know, when tourism started taking off in like Britain during the Victorian era, everybody was like, "Oh well, we're done with, you know." I don't know why tourism was. Oh yeah, you know, let's go on a trip to here.
I think Queen Victoria started it. Tourism, you know.
Yeah, she kicked it off.
Yeah,
she said, "Let's go."
I think she was very
let's go somewhere.
Well, I think she was very into like seeing Britain, seeing her country. You know what I mean? And like, and then she
it was
would
kind
go
of like,
somewhere.
You know, I'm touring Britain. You can do it too. You know.
Yeah. So the first stop was Stonehenge.
Yeah, Stonehenge. We decided to do it. We were like, okay, let's do this, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Because we could, and you know, we found out when we got there, we could have just walked to the Stonehenge. You know, and didn't have to take the bus. The bus. I mean, we needed the bus.
Well, on the time constraint. Okay, so Dominic and I had never done a tour like this, I don't think. Not that I can remember.
Not really. No, I can't remember us doing a tour like this either.
And it's very cool because you get to see places that you would otherwise have to rent a car to get to, because, like, you know, they don't really, the trains don't really stop in these
trains
places,
just go, it's mainline places, you know, obviously.
I don't know about buses. I mean,
buses,
maybe,
you could do it, but it would be like this bus and that time and this time.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot of planning, whereas, like, you know, you can just get on a tour. They'll take you around and they'll take you back.
So it was really good. We liked it because we got to see places we wouldn't have seen otherwise, and several places all in one go. But the downside of that is if you really like a place that you stop, like if you really like dig in the vibes, you know,
you can't spend any more time there, you know. It's like, I mean, you could say bye to the tour guide, just stay there and go, okay, how do we get home now?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what I like to call like tours like that and stuff like that are just a taster. You go, oh yeah, got to remember this place,
so we can come back
and rent a car and come back.
Yeah.
And we can spend all day and all night there, you know?
Yeah. And just kind of chill out. Like Dominic said, this with Stonehenge, you don't have to pay to see it. There's like a roped off section and there's a public footpath
that goes kind of around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it goes all the way around. I don't know if it's
just
on the one side.
On the one side, but
you can see it.
You can see it.
Yeah. And it's literally right next to the people who can pay, who have paid to get in.
The people who've paid can get, what, a few meters closer to it?
Yeah.
And you can't go up and touch them anymore. They've done away with that. They've put up like, you know, it's like 50 meters or something, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know, yes.
You've got to be 50 meters away from it.
Yeah, so you're not getting Clark Griswold close to
yeah, you're not driving your car into it. I mean, he could, but we can't anymore. Yeah, because, I mean, people were going up and touching them and then not leaving and all this kind of stuff.
I think it was worth paying to get into for the, you know, in the way that we did it, because
for the money's worth.
Because we would not have had time, because you have to walk from the parking lot to Stonehenge. There's nowhere to park right around, although there is that road there and people were parking on there. I
can't remember. Yeah, it's all in the YouTube video, I think.
Yeah, so. We have a YouTube video out already. It's out. So if you have not seen it, go to YouTube and you'll see what we're talking about.
See you in a buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're glad we did that. We went all around there, took a load of pictures, marveled at you know, how the original people who got the stones there got them there, because they are huge.
Yeah, and people go, oh, they came from Wales, and I'm like, that's a long way.
Yeah.
That's apparently a long way if you're trudging it.
Apparently
they must have like rolled them there somehow on wheels or something.
Yeah.
But people it was before the invention of the wheel.
Because it's at least an hour's drive from Wales to Stonehenge, right?
At least. It's about an hour. I mean, from where in Wales?
Well, from where? I'm just thinking from the edge of Wales.
From the edge of Wales, from like, I
would say it's at least an hour.
Newport, yeah.
But probably more.
Yeah.
And that's driving. So yeah, I mean, how they got that, I don't know.
How they got
this.
But yes, no, I mean, they have kind of repositioned them because, you know, and they've put stuff on top apparently they've nailed them down or something. There's something like, oh yeah, they had to because they were falling down, they were a health hazard, and that's probably another reason why they've roped them off for 50 meters, just in case they topple.
Yeah.
You're standing there going, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and one of them freaking falls on your head, you know. It's like,
but we didn't do the audio tour, so we probably missed out there, but we decided we would just look at them and read the, you know, there's several little plaques all around telling you different things and pointing you and to look in different directions and stuff. And it was very interesting. I don't know why. You know, we've just heard so many things over the years where people are like, it's not really worth it.
Just negging on it.
It's kind
That's what the kids say now, negging.
If you've seen it in a documentary or if you've seen it on YouTube, you've seen it. Like, there's no reason to, because it's kind of out of the way, I guess.
It's out of the way, yeah. And I mean, I can't remember what it's, the A something that runs right by it. It's not a major road, but you can get on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were up on the hill.
You can see Stonehenge from this highway.
From this highway, yeah. And you can see, like, the traffic slowing to a crawl. Because people rubbernecking, it's like a never-ending car crash. I'd liken it to a never-ending car crash on the highway.
I would avoid that stretch.
That's what people do. Go, no, don't go that way. They've built a bypass.
Yeah.
And so, but will I see Stonehenge? No, and that's the point.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want to go on that A road because everybody's slowing down going, oh, it's Stonehenge.
Yeah. Yeah,
Look,
you get a free...
Can you see it, guys?
You get a free
can you
view
see
from
it,
the
kids?
highway. Yeah.
You know.
But yeah,
and
it was
people
worth,
up there.
It was worth it. If you're into like history, I'd say go. It's just worth it. I mean, it's one of the wonders of the world, isn't it? So it's just like
it's one of yeah UNESCO World Heritage Site now.
And they have a huge gift shop and cafe. And
everything
everything you would imagine.
Yeah, they've got stuff for the kids and everything there, and yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. So from there we went to Avebury.
Yeah, he drove us to Avebury, which he said, oh, this is on the tour because people say it's better than Stonehenge because these stones have been there earlier than Stonehenge.
Mm-hmm.
And
some of them are bigger.
And they surround this whole tiny village of Avebury.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a pub in the middle and all this kind of stuff, so people want to go there. So there's stuff to see.
Yeah.
As well as going out to the stones. You can do the walk around.
There's a pub, there's a little church, there's some cafes.
Yeah. I think the National Trust own the village.
Yeah.
Because they do,
tiny.
And I think they own Lacock, don't they?
I'm not sure, probably.
Maybe Castle Combe. Maybe not Castle Combe, but But National Trust have gotten so big that they can own a village now. And,
there's hardly anything to the village, so...
Well, yes.
There were just a few houses, the pub, a church, and then the National Heritage, wasn't it? Or was it National
Was it English Heritage?
I think it was English Heritage. Oh, I don't know.
English Heritage and National Trust, they kind of work together.
It was one or the other. Had a cafe. And you can go right up to these stones.
Yeah, you can go right up, you can hug them, you can take pictures with them, you can sit on them.
Some guy took it upon himself, I can't remember when, but he was like, yeah, we need to get these stones back in order. Over the years, because obviously those stones have been there for thousands of years, over the years, people were like, oh, well, we'll take this stone and we'll break it down and we'll use it to build a house or to build a fence around our property or whatever. So some of the stones are missing, some of them had been moved different places. One of them, I think, our tour guide told us fell on somebody historically, and now it was some sort of tragic thing, and now he haunts the land.
Now he haunts the land, yeah. All that kind of stuff.
But some guy took it upon himself, oh, we need to get these stones back in order like they would have been, and this can be a site, for people to come see, because this is crazy. This doesn't exist anywhere else, and this is better than Stonehenge because it goes all the way around. This village was built inside of this huge ring, and so he did it, and he's got little markers where he couldn't, where there was no longer a stone there. He put up a little marker where the stone would have been, so you kind of get the idea of the whole ring, and yeah, it was very cool. I've never heard of Avebury.
Yeah, I liked it.
Had you ever heard of it?
No, not really, no.
No, there was also some story about some ghost in the pub. We couldn't find...
We couldn't find him.
We couldn't find the ghost. We did
some
look.
Ghostbusters we are.
We did look, but we could not find him. I tried to push my hands through the stones. Nothing happened. So apparently I don't have the time travel gift.
Yeah. The time travel gift. Yeah, we did all that.
A big storm was... Yeah, we
did all that
We
stuff.
looked for ghosts. We tried our hand at time travel.
We did Ghostbusters. We
suck at both. So a storm was coming. It was time to go. We got back on the bus, and then we went to
Lacock. Which is a village which has been used in numerous TV productions. If you've watched any period drama out of England that's come out of Britain, you've most likely seen Lacock, and of course Harry Potter,
Lacock Abbey, which we didn't go in.
There was no time.
No time.
No, it you think, oh, he's going to leave us here for an hour and a half. That's a lot. That's more than enough time. But it's like it's not when you want to kind of like at the pace we were looking at stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I was looking at the clock and going, oh, we got to get back to the coach now.
Yes.
Or the bus, and he'd parked out because he couldn't park inside the village. He says, you can park in and I'll walk you up to the gate of the village, or the entrance to the village, and then I'll leave you to do your own thing.
Yeah.
And, meet back here at so-and-so, £2.15 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, you either do one or the other. You do Lacock Abbey or you do the village.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I'm thinking, the village was cool.
Yeah. You wished we would have done the Abbey.
But next time we'll do the Abbey. But next time we'll just go ourselves.
The Abbey is huge, you guys. Like, if we had done the Abbey...
Turn up at 10 o'clock in the morning.
If we had done the Abbey, we certainly would not have had time to look at the village, and we would not have finished the entire Abbey, I don't think, in the time we were allowed. So
Harry Potter was filmed in that Abbey, and
some of the what do they call them?
Cloisters.
The cloisters were used as like the halls of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
You know, the scenes where the three of them are like walking with their books down the hall and talking about things,
and a room was used for this, and it's just like, oh well, that's actually the same. You know, they say multiple film locations in this, and it's just like, oh, it's just one room that they shot from different angles.
Oh yeah. I think they used that village in Downton Abbey also.
Yeah. That would have been somewhere Downton Abbey would have visited.
Mm-hmm.
The house that...
The main thing I wanted to see, which is kind of one of the reasons we chose not to go to Lacock, was the house that was Lily and James Potter's house. The house where Harry was struck in the head by Voldemort.
Yeah, Voldemort visited that house.
Was at the end of a lane in this village. And I was like, I have to go see this.
Yeah.
I have to live my Harry Potter life. I'm very sorry. I mean, Lacock Abbey would have been Harry Potter also, but we just didn't have time. So we went down the street and we saw the house. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you know what I'm talking about. The scene is at night when they show this house, but you can still recognize it. I was like, we were like, is this the house? I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the house. Yeah. And so as we were walking up, there were people who were taking pictures of it. I was like, yeah, it's definitely the house. And they walked off and I was like, I'll just make sure and ask them. And I was like, is that the Harry Potter house? And they were like, yeah, it's the Harry Potter house.
Yeah, it's the Harry Potter house.
And so we got footage of that. We just wandered around because, my God, these villages in the Cotswolds are just like going back in time. And I mean...
Well, they preserve them. They keep them that way. It's like no modern conveniences. Mm-hmm. You're not going to see a Tesco. No Tesco's. Yeah. No, anything from...
Yeah, no H&M's.
No, anything from the 20th century even, I don't think. I think they keep it like the 20th century and 21st centuries don't exist.
Yeah, it's really...
perpetually in the 19th century.
It's really good because there's no, like, chain stores, really. Like, there are stores, but they're like... It's like the old-fashioned times where mom-and-pop stores,
and I think they're run by the National Trust, or they've got a license from the National Trust to run their store.
Little ice cream shops and pubs and just everything, and it's just so cute, and it just gives you
so cute.
I mean, Dominic and I are both like, we really like history, so it's just like a cool feeling just walking around, because everything looks like it did, like it has for years and years. Another house in that village was Professor Slughorn's house. Well, it was not Professor. It was the house that Professor Slughorn was hiding in when Harry and Dumbledore found him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't actually find that one on our own. We couldn't find it. So he pointed it out as we were leaving the village. We were like, oh, there it is. I don't think I would have recognized it, actually, because we were looking at the wrong place. Yeah,
there was a couple of people go, is this where Slughorn lived? Yeah. And it wasn't, apparently. It was somewhere else.
Yeah. So there's that also. And Downton Abbey definitely was filmed there. I can't remember what. I mean, I did read about it before.
It was like doubled as the village of Downton or something. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Or maybe that was Avebury. I don't know. Yeah, it was one of them.
It was one or the other. No, I think it was Lacock.
Yeah, maybe.
So from there, then we went to Castle Combe, which I believe was the last stop on the list, wasn't it?
Yes, I think that was the last one. And now that is the place everybody wants to go see because it's
I cannot
prettiest little village in England.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen it on TikTok since we went there. Like, I have just seen it. This is named the prettiest village in England. And it's always just, like, nobody on the streets or, like, one person sitting on the bridge going over the little creek. And I'm just like, they filmed this at literally, like, 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, they filmed this at literal sunrise.
Yeah, to get the shot. Because when we got there, it was jam-packed. People out walking up, trying to get that shot, trying to get a shot of it. It's like, you can see in our footage that we've got, it's like, everybody's there.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said that, so I'll park.
And it was not just our
I'll drive
tour.
out the village and I'll wait for a minute and then I'll come back. You've only got like 15 minutes here, because you can walk the town in 5.
Yeah.
Up and down, and that's it. It's gone.
I think it was like 30 minutes he gave us, but he was like, yeah, you'll do like 5 laps around this village in those 30 minutes.
Yes.
Like, yeah, and we did as well. We kind of did, but it doesn't matter because it's just so cute. It's like, it feels like stepping onto a movie set.
Yeah.
It just feels like unreal. Like, you can't imagine people actually living there. Like, they're just living their lives there. Like, what? you know, like, they're inside their houses.
You were
on their
falling asleep when we were going there. I remember, you were kind of falling asleep and you woke up and you were like, oh, that's cute down there. And I said, yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, and then we could just, oh, yes, it is. Because he drove us and he dropped us off in the village and then he drove out again because the amount of people there is just unreal. You know?
It's like, I don't know how many tours must have been there, but... And you kind of walk around...
And the people who live there, I mean, they obviously make money off the tourism.
They obviously don't mind, because we went...
Well, obviously, no.
We went around a corner, and you do feel kind of, like, weird taking pictures and stuff, because it's like, these are people's houses. Like, they're in there, like,
they live here.
How would I feel if people were coming and taking pictures?
They're fine with the tourists who come and go.
Yeah.
They're not fine with, like, production companies who set up shop there for, like, weeks on end, because... I mean, there's a famous story of, like, when they were filming Dr. Dolittle in 1967 in the town.
Yeah.
The residents of Castle Combe took to sabotaging the production.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were annoyed that they were, like...
They must have given their permission for them to film.
I think back then it was literally because, we're going to make a movie here.
Yeah.
Suck it,
I think I think I have heard, though, that they don't love tourists either. Except for, obviously,
they don't love the tourists who come and go, sit in the garden and go, yeah,
the people who have...
Trash and everything, everywhere.
The people... Oh, my God. That little boy that was, like, kicking somebody's flowers that were down in the...
that's why they don't
I was like... And their parents were just going, no, don't do that. And he was just, like, kicking. I was like, that is somebody's, like, flowers outside of their house. Property. What are you doing? But anyway, no, I can see the people maybe who just live there who don't profit off of the tourists, maybe don't love it. But at the same time, Barney, our tour guide, was like,
Barney,
this place has been a tourist attraction long before any of these people own these places.
Yes, so them getting mad, buying a house here and then getting mad about the tourists coming, it's like, well, you obviously bought a house here because you thought it was pretty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can't say...
And you knew that tourists come here.
if you bought land and you built a house and said, "Ooh, this is pretty," and then everybody else thought it was pretty, it's like, that's tough luck for them because they can't get on your land. But this is a village.
Yeah. We went around this corner and I was like, oh, this house, this like area right here looks really nice. Let's take a picture here, And I didn't realize that there was a guy right there in his, it was his yard.
He was fine though. He was fine. And he had a dog and he was playing with him. The dog was really getting him and he was like, ha ha ha. And he was like, look at my dog. Isn't that cute? Yeah. I can afford to live here. You can't.
You just have to come look.
You can just look at me.
Oh my God. Yeah, but anyway, so...
He didn't actually say that.
No.
Just for any tourists wondering,
Dramatic purposes.
Yes. The dog did, though. The dog definitely told me I couldn't afford to live there.
But yeah, so from there we left. we went back to Bristol, and it was very sad because it was starting to get very cloudy. And it had been a beautiful day before that.
Yes.
And so it just felt depressing, like, oh no, we're going back to this, like, modern city from our, you know, from our life we were living in the past.
Yes.
You know, before that, where everything was sunny and wonderful.
Everything was sunny, wonderful, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was really good, yeah.
Yeah.
And we definitely recommend Rabi's tours.
Yeah,
anyway,
he was very good.
We recommend Stonehenge. We definitely recommend people to visit the Cotswolds in whichever way you want to.
Yeah.
It would be fabulous, we were saying, to stay there somewhere next time we go.
Next time we go, we'll rent a car and we'll book a hotel there.
B&B
or
and
something
a little
there.
inn, yeah.
Just to, like, because, you know, and all you need is a night or two. Because Castle Combe, it's on the edge of the Cotswolds.
Yeah.
So, you know...
It's like you're entering the Cotswolds.
Yeah, there's Burton on the Water and...
Oh, yeah.
And there's other little villages that are so pretty.
There's very many of them, actually. There's a lot of them, I think, yeah.
So, you know, you could drive. You could just have, like, a little base in one of the towns.
I saw some people... Apparently, there's a path that's like a... Or I say a path. It's not really a path, I don't think. It's like, well, yeah, I guess it's a public footpath, but it's a walk where you can walk through the Cotswolds, like, to Bath, I think, from starting from, I can't remember which village,
yes, no,
all the way to Bath. It's like I mean, you take it at your own pace, obviously, and you would have to stay overnight in different places, and it goes through countryside and everything, but it's like no, I don't know. I can't remember how many miles, but I was going to say 5, but no, it's much more than that.
Yeah, it's much more than that. It must go to about 50 miles or something.
Something like that. Walk through the Cotswolds. Yeah. And I would like to do that. I don't know if...
Well, I'd prefer to drive, I think.
I think
I like getting out and walking around the villages, but not walking between them, you know.
Oh my God. You would. We've walked so much on this trip.
We did walk a lot on this trip. Yeah. We got our
at least 15,000 steps every day.
15 billion steps, more like.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's about it. Thank you all so much as always for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. We really appreciate your support. How about that? Special shout out to our patrons for their continued support. And be sure to give us a follow on social media if you do not already. We are at TButty, TEABUTTY on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube,
all the things, TikTok,
everything, for all of our videos and pictures, stories, all of those kinds of things. Give us a follow there, and we'll talk to you all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.